Renee, I'm back. So this time it's for a celebratory video. Celebrate good times, come on! Actually, this is actually for something that happened last week. Pretty sure it was around last week. But last week was the Walterthon round 2. So I didn't really have time. I didn't feel like I had time this last week to do a video like this. And I still had to think a bit more about it. But now it's time. You're thinking, what's going on, Renee? Well, what's going on is I've got 15 subscribers! 15! Yes, I suppose you could say 15, it's not that much. Most people have 15 subscribers. Well, they do, but I'm a new booktuber, and you just gotta celebrate the small wins, don't you? At least I think you should. So, since I got 15 subscribers, I'm doing sorry. I'm doing the 25 bookish facts about me. It's not a tag, it's just a video, which that's been around for some time, and I'm doing it now. I suppose you could also ask, why are you doing 25 bookish facts? You have 15 subscribers. Yes, but why not go the extra mile? Why not? And that's what I'm gonna do now. So, let's start. Bookish fact number 1. I thought I had a good voice, but now I'm starting to cough all the time. I'll try. Bookish fact number 1. I've been to the Trinity Dublin Library. It's the library in Dublin where they have like this old building and they have old manuscripts and stuff. I'll link a picture in doobly-doo. It's very beautiful, very nice. It's on a list of most beautiful libraries in the world. I highly recommend watching and checking out if you ever have time. Bookish fact number 2. A cousin of mine, or well, a relative. It's actually someone who's married to a cousin of my dad's sister. So it's a bit complicated, but he's related to me tangentially. Anyway, he translated the Harry Potter books to Norwegian, which is quite fun. Quite a little fun tidbit, really. I think at least. Bookish fact number 3. I have an aunt that's a librarian, as well as one of my cousins. So I suppose they kind of actually inspired me becoming a librarian. Being a librarian actually was my first like realistic dream. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a actress. I did drama for a long time, and then I wanted to be an author. And then while I wanted to be an author, I kind of got the idea of being a librarian, and then just as time went by, the idea of being a librarian was much more appealing to me than being an author, really, or actress. And that's what I am now. Well, I work in a bookstore, but I have a library degree. So yeah. Question number, bookish fact number. Both the library in my hometown where I grew up is the new library, not the old library, but the newest library there. It's on lots of lists of beautiful libraries in the world and beautiful modern libraries. And I've been there. It's really, really good. I'll link it in doobly-doo. And as well as another library actually in Norway that's on lots of lists because it's so fascinating or special, I suppose you could say, their architecture. And that's in Vennesla. And I'll link that in doobly-doo as well. Bookish fact number 5. Continuing with the theme. I've had a few facts now, actually. I actually have a bucket goal to visit all the public libraries in Norway. So far, I've actually been to around 20. There are around 200, so I've got quite a few left. But at the same time, I'm young, so it's not unlikely I'll manage to see them, at least most of them, by the time I die. And yeah, it's really fun just both as a librarian but also as a reader to like see how the different libraries are, how some are so small but still very well formed and very good, and some are huge but like I don't want to be here. This is ugly and stupid. So it's so fun really to see differences and stuff, I would say. Sorry. Bookish fact number 6. When I was a kid, as I said earlier, I read all my life. I didn't start reading when I was 10 or something. Loved to read all my life. But when I was a kid, my bookish taste was, I suppose, kind of old-fashioned. I loved the Nancy Drew books. I loved the Hardy Boys. Well, I read some Hardy Boys. I read the Bobster Kids. I read, those three. And I also read Sweet Valley High. I read the Babysitters Club. I suppose Babysitters Club and Sweet Valley High isn't that old fashioned because they came out in the 80s, 90s, but they were still kind of a bit old fashioned because I grew up in the mid 90s or beginning of 2000s. So I suppose in a way they were. But anyway, yeah, I was really, really into Nazareth. I actually tried to read all of them. I never managed to read all of them. I actually also read some of them a few years ago for the first time because I never found the first few books. So I found first few books a few years ago. The first few books, they don't have Bess or George. It's just so strange without them, really. I don't know. I feel like I feel that Nancy Drew is something that's kind of you have to read it when you're under 10. If you're above 10 for the first time, it doesn't really work that well. They're kind of outdated in some ways, in a lot of ways, I would say. And let's move on. Bookish fact number 7. Last year, I actually volunteered at a book festival in a town. Well, in a town close to me. That was quite fun. I suppose mostly I just sold tickets, and then sometimes I looked out, counted people at the door, and just checked that how many people were in there in case of emergencies. So I actually got to go to some stuff for free, which was fun. It wasn't like a amazing lineup of authors, but it wasn't bad. So yeah, that was fun. Bookish fact number 8. I once actually tried to translate one of my favorite books to Norwegian. I think I only managed to translate one page or something. Well, only managed. I suppose I could have done more because it wasn't a high fantasy book, so it wouldn't really have been impossible to translate it. But I didn't really have the patience for it. I don't really. I suppose that's kind of halfway why I don't think I ever will be an author because being an author, most likely you need patience. Most authors need to write 7, 8, 9 drafts of each book, and I can write one draft or two drafts, but never that many. I get tired of it. I don't really have the patience for it at all. So yeah, so even translating a whole book, I got bored. Yep. uh, Bookish fact number 9. 9. I have a kind of hobby which is that I like to take photos of books in places that I love. It started, I think, in 2012, no, 15, 14, something like that. So J Maas, yeah, had a competition where I think you could either win one of the books or you could win something anyway. And the idea was to take a picture of one of your favorite books. Didn't have to be a Sarah J Maas book, and post and take a picture by something cultural or something typical from your place. So like if you were if you're from London, you should take a picture by the London Eye. If you're from Paris, take a picture by the Eiffel Tower, etc. So I did that, and then so it started with me taking pictures by a famous speech in my hometown, and then after that I kind of started just because I always really take a book with me, and if I really love the book, and if I'm someplace very beautiful, I might take it out my purse and take a picture. So yeah, that's what I do really. Yep. Bookish fact number 10, not 20, 10. Sorry. I used to, for maybe 10 years, for a long time actually, I used to write creatively. So in middle school and sometimes in primary, but mostly in middle school, when I got home from work, from school, I would sit down and sometimes I would sit in the kitchen and just write for hours because I got some fun idea and just write and wrote and wrote. I often wrote on paper, so it was like 50 pages, 20 pages on paper. And then if I sometimes decided to write them into the computer, it was just like 3 pages. So it was like, ah, bummer. So yeah. I did that for a long time. I also went to a writing camp for a long time. I've kind of lost that interest lately. I finished Gilmore Girls fanfic last year that I finished. And I think actually that's the last thing I actually wrote. So it's actually been a year since I've done anything like that. So yeah, I suppose might just be dormant for a while, but for a long time it was just like a huge passion of mine. And now I'm just like I'm more into reading now than writing. But yeah. Uh, bookish fact number 11. Sorry. It's kind of cheesy, but kind of fun. And if you're paying attention, you might know this. If you haven't, you don't know this. My first favorite authors, like in my first favorite authors when I was like a teen, like beginning to like have a more sense of what I love to read. Like was like when I was a kid, I like more or less loved to read everything, and then when I was a teen, I was more like specified. I like this and this. I don't like this and this, and I got more of a specific reading taste, I suppose you could say. But yeah, around that time, I found Marion Curley, who wrote an Australian author who wrote one of my favorite books, Old Magic, and also the Gardens of Time series, which I talk about often here, and also Meg Cabot, an author that's from Australia, from US. I was about to say UK, from the US, and she writes very funny, very well relatable books. And as you might have noticed slightly if you paid attention, they both start with the same initials. MC. Marion Curley, Meg Cabot. So my first favorite authors have the same initials. Kind of cheesy, fun, interesting tidbits. I don't know. um, bookish fact number 12. I'm a bit tired. I'm not gonna do the hands anymore. But yeah, number 12 is I've actually been a part of three book clubs. One in high school. It didn't. Well, it started. I think. I'm pretty sure. Maybe. Yeah, I think it started actually in last year. My last year of high school, where it was for like the whole high school. We didn't really have that many meetings. We ended up having like 2 or 3, so it didn't really become that successful. But I met one of my not good friends from there, so that's nice. And I also end up going to a seminar, talking to teachers about how to get kids to love to read. The why of that. So that's fun. But yeah, so that's the first one. Oh, sorry, that's actually the second one. The first one was actually a book club where like kind of like I suppose in a way like where you have now you have the why book of the month and you have like these book clubs where you get things in a month in a post monthly. I had that when I think I was 7 and actually was in it till I was 16. was a Norwegian book club where you got 2 books each month, but you also got like one thing. So like it could be a hair decoration, or it could be a nice pen or something like that. You got members magazine. This is like a small magazine with interviews and and celebrities gossip and different stuff. And sometimes you also well, like once a year uh you might get ba, 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 cookbook. We actually got a cookbook once. And then yeah, we actually also got once a DVD. Actually got Ella Enchanted from there, which was very fun. Still one of my favorite movies of all time, actually. And yeah, so that was actually my first book club. And then my third book club, I was actually part of it last year. Semi started. I didn't start it, but I became a part of a established book club, and we tried to make it. Well, we tried. We made some changes to it. So before they had like a set list of people that was going to it, but then when I got involved, we made an open book circle more. I suppose it's not book club, book circle. What's the difference? Was type. Um, where we made like a list for half a year of books we were supposed to read, so you could, and then we made a list public, so you could come in February and in April, and then miss March because you already knew which book to read for April. So yeah, it was more like an open thing. As a part of it, as I said last year, it was fun, but it was me and a bunch of 50-year-olds, so our reading tastes weren't that similar really. Like some of the books I liked slightly, but most of them I didn't really like that much at all really. So most of the time it was just me like, I hate this book. Uh, I didn't understand the book. I didn't like the book. I didn't really have that much to say. I would say really. So yeah, so I actually ended up quitting that this year. So I haven't really been that this year. And I actually tried to start a fourth one myself this year. Tried to start one for where the focus was young adult books. I tried to do it in the area here. I thought, well, there's a lot of kids, there's a lot of teens here. There's a lot of inhabitants, there's a lot of teens. And I also know from personal experience, there's a lot of people who are teens who still love YA and read YA. You probably will like to join a book club. I tried 4 times. No one came any of the times. No, total bust. So yeah. Whoop-a-doo! So that was our And then bookish fact number 13. I used to make 2-page long wish lists for Christmas of books that I really wanted, like books from that year or just books that I became aware of that year. Now I'm more than often people say, "What do you want for Christmas? Which books do you want?" I'm more than often, or like sometimes it's like Secret Santa from Goodreads. They'll just say, "I've got this Goodreads shelf and this Goodreads shelf. Just check those two out." I'm just like, well, that's half the point of Goodreads, isn't it? Just like checking out and just having a place where you have all the books you're interested in. So make a Word document as well would be, I suppose, a bit silly. I think. Bookish fact number 14. It's not a question. I've actually met 5 authors, though all of them are Norwegian ones, so it's not that interesting if you're not Norwegian or don't know Norwegian authors. But for me, it was kind of fun. 3 of them, I suppose, are kind of extra fun because one of them, he's actually from my hometown, and after a while he moved. But like, it's so fun to have a great author from your own hometown. I met him when I was 13, 14, and he had a book talk and talked about like how he wrote stuff and all that. and it was really fascinating to listen to. So yeah, he writes young adults and also some kids books. And then I also met one author that wrote a book series, no book a book series that I loved from when I was youngish till I was 12, 14. It was this fun series where the setting was my hometown and like their area, actually not my area but the area close to where I was growing up. So it's very fun, like you could recognize street names and stuff. And there's also like smugglers or kidnappers or like dramatic stuff like that in every book. So it's very fun. So yeah, it was very fun for little me to meet, like, oh, you're here! So cool. I think he's actually dead now, so it's kind of sad. But he was old and he's been around for a long time, so people die, I suppose. And then the third author I met, one of the five, but the third interesting, is actually Siri Petition. She's written a high fantasy series of books where, how do I explain them? I suppose think Lord of the Rings slash the same Seamus Doctor. I suppose in a way, like there's this whole ladder universe, and you have this whole ladder. Well, that's what high fantasy is. Like this is a very complex system and magic systems and creatures and magic and stuff, and it's very very fun. And it's actually been translated to both German, Russian, Spanish. I'm pretty sure it's soon coming out in Portuguese and Danish and Swedish and Czech, Icelandic, and next year she's coming in English. Yeah, she is. So it's gonna be so fun to see all you Americans and you and UK people and just everyone in the world to just be able to pick it up. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. I know you. I'm gonna find probably. I'm gonna see if there's some English summary of it online and then post it in Doodle because you need to be aware of it. You so need to be aware of it. And yeah, as I said, 5 authors. So I actually met 2 more. I met one last year when I was doing the literature festival. Was volunteering there. It was more like just a hi and a bye. And then the fifth, I said 5. Now I'm not sure. Oh yeah. I was more thinking like 2. Like there's actually okay. So actually there's actually 6, but like more like 5 where like I've met them and talked to them and stuff. Like I had a conversation. They've talked about how they wrote and stuff. Well, the 6 was just a hi and a bye, and 2 of them are actually Norwegian authors that are kind of in, I suppose, in the middle range, you could say, like for Alexa don't speak. They're in the middle there. They publish books, but they aren't like huge. I don't think they're like tiny. They're in the middle range there. But they write really good books. Well, they don't write awful books. I haven't read them in a while, but they're still good books. Yep. Next bookish facts about me. I I discovered BookTube in early 2000s, 2010s, not 2000s. I found BookTube in 2002 when YouTube was a new thing. That would be it's hard, really. Wee bit hard, really. No, I found BookTube actually around 2010, 11. I kind of actually didn't find BookTube by like booktubers because I found out, I suppose, did I find BookTube? Okay. In 2007, 8, I was starting to be more and more online. I was checking out what book bloggers and stuff, and then I saw on YouTube people often had like book cast or fan castings where they had like pictures of people they wanted to be in different adaptations of books, or like, I'm really wanting this and this book to be adapted. Let's take different pictures and then make a video and post it on YouTube. So that was kind of the first, I suppose, booktube thing for me at least. I think that's that was in 2008, 2007. And I think someone said that the first booktuber was the booktuber or Christina Riccio, more or less that era, and that they came out in 2010, 11. So this was actually before that. But yeah, so yeah, I found those bookish casting videos in 2007. I was really into that for a long time. I haven't really seen that in a long time. I think that's probably more now. I think that's more on Tumblr and stuff. But people do like bookish fan castings now and then still, but I don't think it's that common on BookTube. Anyhow, sorry. The first booktuber I actually watched like often was Ariel Bissett. Was really into her. She makes great videos. Well, made and still makes. And yeah, she has some good ideas and funny, good thoughts, and yeah, I really like her. Sorry. Bookish fact number something. I know there's 25 here, but I just haven't stopped saying the number. Actually studied English for 1 year. I didn't do a degree because I suppose some places you can do a degree for 1 year. You can't in Norway. But I did take 1 year of English, where we had half a year was British literature, and then we had linguistics, and then half a year was American literature, and then it was like critical, source critical thinking and like that. So yeah, that was a very fun, interesting year. And also included in that, we had a study trip to York in England, 2 weeks. That was very 2 weeks, 1 week, around 2 weeks, and that was also really fun. Yeah, that was a really nice year. I really liked that year. Well, the teachers were very good, and the curriculum was very good. I didn't really was one of those times where I didn't really find any friends in class, so it wasn't like yay class wise, like socially wise, wasn't that good. But like the curriculum was very good, so there's that. And it wasn't like huge, like you had to read some short stories of American authors for school. Oh my god, so difficult when you love to read. So yeah, that was a good book. Very nice. And then yeah, and next book is bookish facts. Because of that, I'm thinking, and because I've read so much, I suppose not everyone who reads that much do the same, but I actually am very aware of openings to books. So when I read a book now, the first paragraph or the first page, I noticed like, okay, do you meet the main character? Do you meet what? Uh, do you get a sense of the setting? Do you get a sense of the tone? What is the conflict here? Do you get some sort of conflict from the beginning? Sometimes you can't get a conflict from the beginning, even though it's not the conflict. Do you get some sort of, okay, there's something going on behind the surface, there's something wrong? So yeah, I'm kind of now like, I like that the first page was kind of bad, but the second page gave me lots of information about setting and blah blah blah. But yeah, I'm really nerdy that way now. I really am. And then soon finished. As many book lovers, this is kind of a jaw fact, but I love going to bookstores, any bookstores, even if I'm traveling and I'm someplace in China, like in this, and they have like no English books. Still fun to just walk in and then look at the fun covers and just like just to be close to books. You're just so happy, so happy. You don't really mind any what languages it is in just books in general. So fun, so wonderful. bookish fact number something. I actually haven't read any Jane Austen, any at all. I started actually to read Pride and Prejudice when I was in high school. Not for high school, just because I wanted to. I suppose the kind of bad thing was I got this like huge bind up of all her books from the library, and so like I had to sit there and it was like huge and like open it and it's so look kind of huge and of course together they're very huge, and I didn't really get that far really. I suppose because I tried to read in English and because it's Jane Austen and you have all these old timey words and stuff. So yeah, I'm thinking I might try it again in Norwegian. I still haven't. I'm just thinking I will. Uh, I do very much love all the Jane Austen adaptations. Whenever someone says BBC is coming with a Emma adaptation or CBS is coming out with a Pride and Prejudice retelling miniseries, I'm like, yeah, I want to see it! Even though I never read any of the books. I know, I'm a cheater. Yeah. And bookish fact number. I actually really want to go to Boston. Boston? Why Boston? Well, actually, Boston actually has the the modern library in the world, uh, and that's still running actually because of course libraries is an old thing. But for a long time, Boston has oldest public library. For a long time, libraries were just connected to universities. It was just for the upper class. So that notion of public libraries is actually very modern and new. It actually started in the late 1700s, in the 1800s actually. And yeah, for the first one of that kind, you actually have the Boston Public Library. It's still up and running. So yeah, as a library lover, I really want to go there and see that. And yeah, a bit another nerdy library fact here. I'm still actually sad about the burning of the Library of Alexandria. If you don't know, which you might not everyone does, the Library of Alexandria was actually it was an old library in Alexandria, the city in Egypt, around the around the time of the pharaohs, so like a long time ago. And they actually tried. The idea was actually to try to have all the knowledge and all the books in the world in one place. So they actually tried. They actually managed to have a lot of books in that building. But of course, in that time, it was just papers, and of course, it was burned down in the fire of Library of Alexandria. So yeah, it's kind of sad. It's very sad. But that's next facts. As I said, time and time now, I've loved to read all my life. When I was a kid, I was very into the Donald Duck comics. Some people think that Donald Duck it's only DuckTales and the movies, but for me, for a long time, it was the comics. You got the comic pockets or you got the comic magazines each week. I was very into those. And I was also very into Mickey because Mickey Mouse, and when he had a pocketbook, it was mostly about him and what's the other guy known in English? Goofy, Goofy. It was mostly about Mickey and Goofy going around solving mysteries. They went to Atlantis. They went to the center of the Earth, and they went to Mars and went back in time and all those stuff. I was really into that. And yeah, one time I went to the store. I had gotten some pocket money. I went to the store and bought a new Mickey Mouse pocket. Like, yes, this looks so fun. It had a blue cover in it. I love blue. I was just so into it. Yes, got it back. Went back home, read it one sitting. So happy. And I think same day, maybe next time, just very close to each other. next day or something. I went to the bookstore, no, to Chaos again. I bought another Mickey pocket. It looked similar, but it had a green cover. Went home, started reading, and like, this is familiar. Turns out it was the same book. It was just different covers. Different colors on the covers. Yeah. Kind of embarrassing. So that's my really first faux pas in covers. Make sure the titles are different, not the covers. Titles is what matters, really. Soon finished already. Just 2 more left. I can feel my my voice being bad. I love moment. I'm back. So yeah, and the next penultimate actually, next to last bookish fact about me. I love books with paratext. And I think, what's paratext? Paratext is actually when there's something extra in a book. For example, in Fire by Kristen Cashore, when you have a map at the start of the book, which is quite a common paratext really, you have a map at the start of fantasy books. Or when you have Trials of Polo, where you have moments where you have each chapter starts with a little something, and here is a small poem by Apollo. So the meaning of paratext is actually just like something that expands on the original text and just informs you more. So here you have a map, so you can easily understand where you're going and the place, and you can look at the map while reading and stuff. And here you have the poem, so it's like, oh, it gives a little extra about what's going to happen this chapter. And so paratext often gives you something extra about the book, or it could like be if a book is about a chef, you could sometimes like after each chapter have a recipe, and then that points back to a recipe they talked about in the chapter. So yeah, I really like those. I have many more paratext books in my head, but right now, as always, I never really prepare. And right now, I just found those two. But hey, it's a little bit of a selection, really. And you know what? I'll fix a final paratext, a list of books with paratext, and put in doobledoo. And then the finally the last bookish facts about me. A lot of people actually say that they really, really care about the cover, like they care intensely. Like if they see a book with an awful cover, they won't read it. I'm not that strict about it. So I actually never bought a book strictly because of the cover. I have bought a book 98 because of its cover. 98% of the cover, really, though. So this one, Lestats, Memorias de un Engaño by Tiffany Caligaris. It's actually a book I bought in Argentina when I was there in 2014. I wanted to read something in Spanish, in Argentinish, in Spanish. And I saw this in bookstore and thought, oh, what a breathtaking cover. Really love the cover. And the back cover is also really nice. But I went around for a long time just looking at it. And then I ended up buying it, not just because of the cover, but also because of the story. It seemed really good. Unfortunately, it wasn't all that good. It was a bust for me. It was kind of cliche, and yeah. But I actually got like halfway before I DNF'd it. I did read quite a bit of an Argentinian author. So goal achieved. So yeah, that's the only one where it's kind of a cover by, but not solely a cover by. Like if I'd found this book and it looked interesting, and then read and oh, it's about someone in a war in Afghanistan who has to cosplay and who gets taken by the Taliban and are raped all the time, I wouldn't have bought it at all. No. To me, the plot just make a difference, of course. The cover, it comes into play, yes, but not just. And also now, actually, since it is just a minute, really. I'm back again. Yeah, since it is a celebratory video, 15 subscribers, I'm doing a giveaway. Both one to Europe and one to the UK. Because why not? All these books, though, they aren't completely new. I didn't buy them for the giveaway, just so you know. But none of them look awful. They all look nice. So I have the Legacy of Kings by Eleanor Herman. It's in paperback. So if you like paperbacks, this might be for you. And then we have Lord of Shadows by Cassandra Clare. It's the huge version. It's been read, but you see, it's not like hugely damaged, so it's slightly used. And then we have Amberloo by Lara Elena Donnelly. It's supposed to be very, very good. I tried to read it first this year and then tried to read it again. It wasn't for me, but a lot of people love it. And then we have Winter Song by S.J. Jones. This one has some marks, but not that many, so it's slightly more used, I suppose, in a way. It's supposed to be based on the Goblin King, or the Labyrinth, the 1980s movie. I didn't like that movie that much, so I'm giving away. And I'm also giving away Lestat, Memorias del Engaño. So, if you read Spanish, or if you want to read Spanish, if you just love this cover, send your interest. How will you maybe win some of these books? Well, easily enough. You, since lately you can't message people on YouTube, I'm gonna link my Goodreads, and then, okay, so first, you comment down below which of the books you want, and if you're from Europe or if you're from Europe or England, if you're from Europe or the US, and then you name one bookish fact about yourself, and then when the giveaway is stopped, I will notify the winners on Goodreads, because as I said, you can't really message people on YouTube anymore. Stupidness, really. So yeah, and from now on this one as well, and definitely I've been licking my Goodreads. So yeah, there's that. So yeah, I hope you like this long video, but there's a lot of facts, and it's me, Ramble. Hey, if you've been here this far, good for you. I'm Renee, and this is me saying bye-bye.